What's up guys, we're gonna BroBeatzTV. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys another sleeper plugin in FL Studio. Of course it's gonna be stock, and this plugin is actually Sakura. So this plugin is incredibly slept on, one of my favorites. But you know, stock plugins you just forget to use. But if you're trying to make modern like beats or trap beats, whatever type of music you want to make, these are gonna probably have the best sounds for you. You know, FL has a lot of misses, but this is not one of them. So we're gonna go ahead and make a melody with this. So in order to get the most out of this plugin though, you're gonna need to tweak a lot of these settings. Now, which settings is up to you, but obviously you're gonna want to add some of this delay, chorus, and reverb to kind of make them sound like more modern sounds, especially if you're trying to go for like a trap beat or hard beat. You want to mess with those. Other things, of course, you can mess with these, but the other one, to kind of get that like dark sound, you want to mess with the dampening settings. So I picked this sound here, as you can see, and what I did is just turn the amount up, and obviously you're not going to be able to like tell, but you can see it's kind of like a very ambient, like darkish sound. But where you're going to get that sound from is obviously like your chords or your melody. So let's go ahead and make our melody. Looking for a deeper learning experience? Check out our courses over at Producer Portal. And if you're new to producing, the Ultimate Beginner course is perfect for getting you up to speed with the rest of us. Now let's jump back into the video. Now we're going to go ahead and throw down some notes. So we're going to be using this sound for our first one. I'll go ahead and grab in a scale so you can see what's going on. So we can just, I don't know, let's do like a G. Okay, we're going to do a G minor. Yep, this is a minor. I'll just name it G minor. We'll close this and let's go start with our first one. So with this, you really don't have to do much for stuff like this. I think simple is the best way to go. So we could do like a little trick where we could start here and then let's go down. So we're gonna go backwards like this, and we're gonna delete the middle note, or you could keep the middle note, but this is just to make a dark beat. Take this, and then basically you can either do it like this or you could do it like this, but you would need to flip it, of course. So what I would recommend is, let me turn these down a little bit though. What I would recommend is you pull this up like this, so it's a better transition for like your 808, and then you can move this over. Okay, and then yeah, that's all we're gonna do. And from here, you can just do your fifths, stuff like that. So basically you just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom. Okay, and then you have your like fifth or whatever, and you could do it from here too, or you could just copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom. Okay, and then you could do it again if you want to, or you could use a trick where you just fill in the notes and you can just figure out what note you want to use next. Obviously we want a dark beat, so we're gonna steal these and then just offset these, and I'm gonna maybe try something like this. Right, you can see it's already sounding dark. I'm gonna copy this, and we don't want this to sound too repetitive, so I'm gonna take out a note and then make sure these stop here, just so it just sounds like the timing is a little different. Right, you can see how it stopped there, and just copy it over. Now let's make this a lot easier on ourselves. We'll just copy this and pull this down. Okay, and then what I like to do for these transitions is take a note from here and just pull it over here. So naturally we could just take this and maybe do something like that. Now what we could do is just turn the velocity down. So if you see here, turn that velocity down about half. That way it's not so strong, but we still get a different like sound. Right, and that is our first little melody. So this is going to be like our texture, our background, etc., and then we'll just add, you know, melodic elements on top like the counter and etc. So let's go ahead and do that, and we can go ahead and put this on bar as well, just so it loops. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our counters. So typically I would just layer some of these sounds. So I picked this little strum sound, and then this viola. All right, so we can kind of play around with these for like our counters. So with this one, I didn't do much. All I did with these is I just was like, okay, let's just add some delay, some chorus, some reverb, play around with it. So, right, it's not a huge difference, but you know, when everything comes together, it'll kind of all glue. Same thing here. Just nothing crazy. Just put this on 1/4 for the delay, And yeah, I just messed around with some of this like reverb, and they also have like blur and stuff, which is really cool, especially for like dark stuff. And I'll go ahead and show this one as well. Okay, so everything else up top is just kind of defaults. Okay, I don't want to make it too difficult to follow, just tweaking all these little settings. So let's go in here, and at this point you could use your ear and you can start to steal from what we have here, right? Let's go back. I'm just listen to where I want to put this. I kind of like that D note actually. Let's pull this up and let's play around with the octave a bit. I'm gonna copy this. Let's do something like this. Oops, and then let's pull this up and then just offset it a bit. Let's take this D and just kind of play around with this. And I'm gonna change the grid to 1/3 so we can get like a nice rhythm with it. Let's go back to 1/2. We can chord backwards, right? And you don't need to like do that. You can just do it automatically. Like at this point, I don't have to like think about it. It's just kind of normal. Like I just go, okay, like here, right? And you do +1. But yeah, I'm just voicing it so you know like what I'm doing or thinking about at least. I'm gonna copy this though, and I'm gonna pull this over and just pull it right here. So now I already know where I need to get to. So you could use a bunch of tricks, right? You could do stuff like this if you want. It's up to you really. I kind of want to keep the same notes in there, so I'm gonna take this. Actually, no. Let's try that. Okay, I like that, and I'm gonna just copy this to our violin or viola right here. Okay, just to save time. You don't need to spend a lot of time making these melodies, especially these days. So there's something here that so I'm gonna turn this one down a bit. Let's do 1/4, and let's put this on 1/4 beat actually. So I'm gonna zoom in, and you can see for the thirds it was like this, but when you have the 1/4, you kind of have like those jazz rhythms. So I'm gonna just put this on here, and I think that'll sound a lot better. So I'm gonna just readjust for these. Just adjust them, and then obviously we have to do that for our viola too for this sound. Doesn't need to be exact, but I do want these to linger a bit for violin or viola, whatever. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we put that on bar so it repeats. We'll readjust this. Okay, and I think that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and add our last sound. We probably don't even need it, but got this little harp here. We'll talk about that in the next part, but let's go ahead and move on to this. Now we have our next sound, D part 2. So for the settings for this, it's just 2/4 for the delay. You could play around with these sounds as well. This is just kind of like what I was playing around with, trying to see like what settings to use. So chorus, reverb, of course, have those on. And then the dampening, I have that about 45%. So there's that, and that's just to make it sound a little like dark. So that is what it is. So let's go ahead and actually use it. We're already in here. So I'm gonna just click around. If you want something super dark, you can kind of stay alongside these notes. But I tend to go like more melodic dark. So, you know, that's probably what I'll end up with. So let's go ahead. I don't know if you get like a and we're going to change the grid to 1/4. And I think this might be quarters for another DAW. I don't know what increments they have in other DAWs, but this is what I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna copy that and pull this one down 1. We can keep that dark vibe in there. I'm gonna turn these down slightly so they blend in better. And let's go down a bit. Maybe we could do like here. So we can do our G. So when we hit, remember our G right here, so it'll kind of mesh a little bit more. So let's go in there. Let's obviously move these around. Make the chord backwards. Okay, and then I'll put these here so it goes back into this F, so it's a perfect loop. So yeah, that is the melody. Now we're gonna do the effects. Now in the last video I did about FL Studio stock plugins, we didn't do any effects because I just wanted to showcase like the bare boneness of the plugin and just the bare sounds. And what I mentioned in that video was actually that usually with these stock sounds, you really want to add effects and like manipulate it. So I'm actually gonna you know, put together a simple little stock like effect chain for you, and then show you how you can kind of turn this into a really nice melody. Even though this sounds good, but we want it to sound more modern and like, you know, I don't know, ominous, creepy, whatever, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're gonna go over the effect chain. So I went ahead, just threw in some basic stuff because I feel like a lot of people think you may need like third-party plugins or these crazy, you know, all these crazy presets and stuff, but you really don't. Third-party plugins just help, you know, more seasoned producers save time. But luckily you can save presets. So I just prepared one. All I did was just put all of these into here. Okay, so they're all in one track. Now, here is the chain in order. So first you want halftime. You could use this with any plugin. In FL Studio is where it originated pretty much. So you just do half speed, and then I'll just play it what it sounds like now. Oh wait, let's turn it on. Okay, now it sounds good, but it needs to be cleaned up a bit. So I added a fruity chorus, and this is just bare bones. That I just opened it up and I don't touch the settings. Okay, so this is fruity chorus. Okay, and for some reason it just instantly sounds way better than it was before. Like all that muddiness is gone. And then of course we add an EQ. You can use whatever EQ you like, but this is the EQ that I use. So why does it look this way? Well, I want to take out, of course, the low end, right? Because when we have our 808, we don't want anything to share any space with our 808, because why would we want that, right? We want the 808 to hit hard. So I just took out a lot of that low end where the 808 would hit primarily, and then of course where our melody would sit is kind of in the mid sections. So I just kind of boosted some of the parts of the melody that I thought needed it. So like right here, okay, as you can see, like the frequencies. And then of course I want my like crispiness. So one way to do that is you could just take out like the really high highs. So you can see like right here, like this 10K, you could take those out. That way, like those real, like the hi-hats, the open hats kind of hit around here. You don't really have to do much because it's not sharing any space. It automatically stick out. Doesn't do like, it's not as crazy as you would think, but it just has that extra benefit. So yeah, that's pretty much why this looks this way. The reason I'm mentioning that is so you don't have to watch this video just to make any, like to EQ your own sounds. You understand why you EQ it this way or that way, right? So yeah, that's just it, and this is it. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and add our drums so everything comes together. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our 808s here. And yes, 808s. So these, and I turned off the effects just so we have like, so we can like get the right keys and stuff. So let's turn these off. So I have the Alien, and this is from the Animal Kingdom. Any sounds I'm using besides the stock sounds like the drums, you can find a description. This is from Alien, right here, or for Animal Kingdom 808 pack, and then of course these are from Misery. This Atreus 808. All right. So let's go in here, and this should be pretty easy, honestly. Let's start on, what was it, C and then G, right? Yeah, and then we just play around like with the octaves. So let's pull that up. Of course, we're gonna pull them up like this. And I'm gonna do something like this. Let's pull that up, and then I'm gonna turn this into a slide. Okay, and I actually don't mind how it sounds clean, like without the effects. And I'm gonna just copy this here, and I'm gonna take this out. Okay, I like that. Now, of course, you wouldn't normally add two 808s together. Now, I would mix these, but I don't know what interface you're listening on, so it might sound terrible to you, but my interface that I'm listening on, it doesn't sound like, it's not like peaking too much. So if you want to get rid of that, you could put both of these into a track, okay, like so, and then you could just like mix them against another. So like what I would do, and I'll just do it here just to demonstrate. What I'll do is, if whatever main 808 I want, I wouldn't touch, but like for the Atreus 808, I would say, okay, I kind of like the harmonics there, so I would just take some of the low out. Right, and we pretty much just created a new 808 by putting those together, right? But that's what I would do. I might even, I kind of want to, okay, I'll keep it in. All right, so that's the low end. Let's go ahead and add our drums and we'll be done, and then we can, you know, turn the effects on everything. Now let's go ahead and add our drums. So this will be pretty simple. I chose with like these little rims. Okay, so I'm gonna just layer these, and then you can, like, I don't know, just throw some stuff in. We could just put these on bar so they repeat. I kind of want to actually turn this down a bit. I don't know, actually. Okay, it sounds a little bit better. And I'll just play one for now. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it's not letting me put a beat here. And then we could just add our hi-hats in and we'll be good. So I'm gonna do a 1/6 for this. And obviously I don't want to turn these all the way up. And then I'm gonna turn the velocity up a little bit on some of these. And we could do like a 1/4 thing here. Just pull this down. Kind of looking for like, we'll just leave it. It's not that big of a deal. And yeah, we'll just bar it and boom. So we have our little beat. So now we're going to turn our effects on and then we'll just kind of tweak things as we need them. Okay. And I'll just turn it on and off, obviously, like the bare bones and the effects. And I think that's enough for the preview. I still want to kind of get this mix right because I like how it sounds like in the beginning. I like it's like super fat and then like I really like that, but it's just like around here it gets really muddy. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. That's the plugin Sakura. Check it out if you haven't already. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.